Hey everybody, Stephen Bogren here from Pro Physique, and today I'm going to talk about how we make losing weight simple. Alright, so everyone, I hope you're having a great day today. Wow, Stephen, we've seen a lot from you lately. Yeah, you have. Whoa. What a topic, though. And it's definitely one where a lot of you are going to be like, Stephen, I've been trying to do this for a long time. This has been something I've been working on. It's not that simple. It's not that easy. It's not... It's tough. It's hard. And yes, it absolutely can be. And we're definitely going to take the whole process and we're going to try and simplify it down as much as we can. And if some of those things you feel like are off, then there might be more questions, and there's always extra things you can look into. And that might just mean we need a little bit more help or an extra step and to look a little bit deeper into the process. But for a lot of us, losing weight can be very, very simple. It can be easy. We don't have to overcomplicate the process per se. And so it all starts, everything begins simply where you are. Simply where you're at. Have you ever counted a calorie? No? Cool. Well, we're going to start with learning how to count calories. We're going to start with learning what that means, what different food weights look like, and just putting in the effort there. And it might only be 1 or 2 days a week even that we do that. If that's where our time constraint lies, and that's what we need to do, wonderful. We're making steps of progress. We're figuring out how we make that more time friendly. How do we make that fit our schedule? How do we get those skills down, right? Because if we're trying to do math, we're not going to go from knowing nothing to trigonometry, right? We're going to take our time. We have to learn addition, subtraction, multiplication, all these other steps before we get there. And so for a lot of us, what we see is this end goal. This end goal of I want to lose body fat. I want to lose weight. I want to see the number on the scale going down. And so what that can cause us to do is be stuck on the end goal and not necessarily that process. And so in general, as a coach, and I would say this seems to go really well with any other coach I've ever had, it's very much process oriented. It's how we're doing things. It's our daily habits. For example, with jiu-jitsu and wrestling, one of my bad habits was to put my head down whenever I would shoot. Well, guess what? I would get guillotined a lot. Choked out. That doesn't feel good. And so I have to work on my habit of, if I'm going to shoot, to keep my posture up, to keep my head position in the right spot, so that I don't get choked. And so, as a coach, oftentimes we're talking about habits. We're talking about how do we improve, how do we get you from point A to point B. The difficult part about that is, as a participant, as somebody who is losing weight, as somebody who is trying to get better at jiu-jitsu or fight sports or hockey or whatever it might be, my patience and my directive can oftentimes be end game. It can be, I want to be the greatest hockey player on the league. I want to be the best jiu-jitsu guy in the gym. I want to be this. I want to be that. And it's not necessarily, hey, I want to learn how to jiu-jitsu. I want to learn how to play hockey, how to become a better skater. I want to learn I can stop on my right side forward. I want to learn how to stop on my left side forward. I want to learn better puck handling. I want to learn this. I want to learn that. Because the culmination of those things, the culmination of I know how to count macros, I know how to do calorie accountability, I know how to use my food bank to manage my calories in and calories out, I know how to choose foods that will help me to manage a lower calorie diet a bit more. I know how to prioritize protein. I know how to prioritize my schedule so I can make it into the gym, so that I can get my activity in, whether it be resistance training, cardiovascular, or a mix of the two. I know how to do these things. Because these things, these building blocks, these habits, the culmination of these is what leads to those crazy physiques. It is a lot of lifestyle habit change. And so for a lot of us, we look at the scale, we look at simply this number as our determinant of success. And I would challenge a lot of us, particularly during this time of year, during the holidays when things can be tough and when things can be very difficult to manage, stress is high, you have a lot of obligations, both family, work, and whatever it might be, lots going on. Look for the positive progress. If you're not counting at all, if you're being completely just like, I don't care about food, I do what I want, screw it, cool. Maybe positive progress for us is simply just being mindful. Saying, oh wow, like I had a really big breakfast today. And just paying attention to that. Saying, oh wow, I ate half the cake at dinner. It's me. I ate half the cake at dinner, right? I need to be mindful of that. I need to know that I really probably maybe went a little bit more overboard. If we're already mindful of our food choices and kind of what we're eating and knowing about portion control and those kind of things, maybe the next step is to, pay a little bit more attention to actual weight and tracking. Maybe we take a couple days a week and we add some food into our phone logs and we say, okay, well, today I had, 125 protein and 230 carbs and 72 fats. Okay, so I know what I'm getting in. I have a baseline, right? Maybe for some of us, it has nothing to do with food. Maybe it's simply activity. We've been saying, hey, I want to get into the gym. I'm looking at New Year's. I want to make a big change this year for 2022. How do I do that? Okay, I'm going to start going to the gym. Okay, well, how do we carve out time for the gym or for physical activity? Maybe we simply need to look at our schedule. Where can I fit this in? Where can I find 45, 60 minutes in the day to go be physically active, to do something, right? How do I make that work within my schedule? And then we go from there. Okay, well, cool. Now I figured out how to make it work with my schedule. I know that I can get to a gym, that I have a membership, that yada, 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 blah, blah, all that kind of great stuff. What do I do when I go there? There is a ton of free information out there, workout splits, all that kind of good stuff. But the truth of the matter is doing something is positive progress. So if you're getting in and just doing machine circuit work for a while, that's great. You can still make progress on that. There's nothing wrong with that. And so you're making steps in the right direction. A lot of people I know are like, oh, I don't want to have to count macros. I don't want to pay attention to that. The way that I like to think about counting macros or just being aware of your food intake is almost like your finances. Nobody gives you a hard time about knowing what your finances are, right? Nobody's like, oh, Steven, you really got to stop paying attention to your bank account. It's a good thing to know. It's something we're expected to know as adults and, productive citizens. So we do want to be at least aware. And obviously there's a line that you can cross to where things maybe start getting a little fuzzy and maybe that's too much. Yes, absolutely, for sure. It can be that way with anything. But simply knowing, being aware, taking the time to understand what our calories in, calories out, our caloric currency, as I'll call it, can be a very good thing because it helps us to manage that. If we want our investment portfolio to look good, we have to pay attention to it. We have to invest in that. And it can be the same with our physiques. If we want our physiques to be in a specific way, we have to invest in our caloric currency. We have to invest in our exercise currency. We have to do the right things to make sure that we're putting that money where it's going to give us the best dividends and benefits. So I want to take this to say it can be very simple. Just take the next step in the right direction. A lot of times we overcomplicate the process because of the fact that we get stuck on that end goal. And inherently saying there's nothing wrong with wanting the end goal. That's a good thing. It's a motivator. It pushes us to challenge ourselves to do something different. However, when we're in that moment, we're in that time, becoming process focused, saying, hey, I did a good job tracking my meals today. Maybe I'm going to do a good job tracking my meals tomorrow because I haven't been doing it daily. That's my process. Maybe my process is I've done this stuff before. Maybe I just need to get back in the habit. So again, I'm tracking and I'm accountable to macros now. Now I know, or I'm accountable to protein and total calories. So I'm just going to hit my numbers. I don't have to worry about too much else other than that. That's what I'm going to really work on right now, is just being consistent with hitting my numbers. And then maybe it's, okay, well now I need to be consistent with getting into the gym. And then we can look at what comes next and what comes next. A lot of the times we put so much weight on ourselves by trying to do everything all at once. And we end up spinning our wheels and not getting anywhere. For the vast majority of people, what I've realized is it's much, much more important to focus on the step ahead. Focus on this step, then the next step, and then the next. Right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. That's it.